Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Vector Gardens. In this video I finally get started on the actual amusement park, as well as the absolutely massive entry building. You'll see what I mean in a few minutes. Or you can skip to the timestamp on screen to see a showcase kind of walkthrough of everything I got done in this video. But anyways, starting things off here, I am redoing part of the accessibility parking lot just because I didn't really like how the other one came out too much. This one should be a little bit more realistic, but one thing I did forget to do was to add the accessibility parking symbol to like either the parking spots themselves or to a sign next to them. But other than that, the whole parking lot should be done now. So next up here, I am kind of sprucing up the entry plaza a little bit and removing the chevron logo from the flowers, as well as playing around with the little bushes that kind of surround the whole entry sign thing. I might actually end up removing them though, because it kind of looked pretty good when they were not there, so I don't know. We'll see. Now I make these little triangle shapes with paths because I thought I needed it for this entrance. Turns out I did not at all. In fact, I did quite a lot of odd pathing crap that I did not end up using at all here. I think I have said this every single episode of this series so far, but I love this pathing tool so much. There have been like a few exploits that people have found too that make it even better. It did take a little bit for me to get used to it, but it is such a huge improvement. And here I am getting started on these. I guess they would be like turnstiles, but they're not really turnstiles, just like the physical entrance to the park. I don't put too much detail into them, whatever they're called, the actual like entrance into the physical park. Because I was recently at Universal and they have this system that wasn't there the last few times I've been, which is like this weird facial recognition thing where like it takes your picture, then it'll like remember you. And I thought it was really cool. So I think I'll do that for this park just because I thought it was awesome. But for this video, I just kind of left it as these little metal poles. And here we are finally starting on the actual massive building for the entrance. And it's a little more than just an entry building. This has three main inspirations. One of them being Kings Island's entrance, which I know is like one of the ugliest entrances of all time, but it kind of uses a similar idea to that one. It also takes inspiration from the Epic Universe Hotel, which I think is like called, not Stella Nova, but it's something space related. And it's like physically inside the park. It's not the two colorful ones. It's like one big one that's kind of I think steampunk themed or something. But yeah, so like those two buildings, and then the main inspiration is actually like Disney's Contemporary, like the massive hotel with two monorails through it. Yeah, I completely steal that idea here. So it's basically like just having the Contemporary, but instead of monorails that go to like a bunch of different resorts and theme parks, the monorails will just go to different areas inside this theme park. I've had this idea for a while now, probably like a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. I started actually building a Roblox theme park tycoon, like proof of concept of this idea. And ever since I did that, I knew I really wanted to build one in Planet Coaster 2. It was actually like going to be one of my first projects, but it's been pushed back quite far because I really wanted to learn the game before I tried to take on a massive hotel entrance building thing. A weird glitch that I had 3 times when recording this video was the world axis of the map completely changing for literally no reason. I just had to unload and reload the map for it to start working again, but it's kind of concerning. I don't get even near finishing this building in this episode because, well, one, it's massive, and two, I would I decided to do more like actual park stuff, so like the first Midway when you enter the park and like some buildings that surround it. This building will probably be one entire full episode of me just working on it before it is actually done. I'm not going to do that next episode, but maybe the one after that, because this thing is going to take a lot of work to be finished. Like, custom supporting some of the monorail stuff, making it all work realistically, doing the stations for the monorail, doing the hotel bits because I have never built a hotel in this game before, and am I'm excited to finally do one of them. And what else would there be? There's like gonna be gift shops. There's gonna be a restaurant. As you can see here, I'm just building one of the monorail stations. I gotta make non-functioning elevators. There's gonna be a lot of stuff I need to do for this. But like I said, that's for another time. Next video, I will probably start working on my first coaster in this park. Um, I think I'll just do the layout and as many custom supports as I can do in 5 hours, but it is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest coaster in the park, and it'll essentially go out and back around the parking lot. You'll see which coaster type it is at the end of the video because I place it stationed down. But so yeah, that will be next episode. Here I am trying to do some of these like weird columns. I really don't know what I'm doing very much with this building. It will be a very big learning process. I'd like to have it be probably a little over half the like rooms of Disney's Contemporary because this park is not meant to be the most popular park in the world, so we don't need that many rooms. How many rooms is Disney's Contemporary? It is 650. That is a lot more than I thought it had. So I don't. If I get above, I think I'll aim for 300 rooms in this. I have no idea though. That's a lot more rooms than I thought it had. And in my Roblox one I made, I actually had a roller coaster go up and like it would go onto the roof and it would do a drop off of the roof into the main bit of the park. I don't think I'll do that for this, but I will if everyone wants me to. Maybe I'll try and fit like a kiddie coaster inside the actual hotel. Maybe that'd be really funny. So here what I'm doing is trying to label this guest services building. And I'm not too sure like if you're supposed to have these before the entrance of the park or after or both. So I just did both because I've seen some parks that have it on specifically the entrance or specifically the exit. So yeah, I just did both. This building is pretty simple, but the one that I put in the actual park has this weird like curve to it, as you'll see later in the video. But they both have similar kind of vibes. So as for themed areas I have planned for this park, I definitely want to do a Wild West area because of like all the returning scenery pieces. And I'll also probably do a like a sci-fi area if we get some of that space sci-fi theming from Plant Coaster 1 into this game. And I also think I'll do a very unconventional theming, like themed land, themed to a TV show that I absolutely love called Arcane. It's this kind of like magical steampunk vibe that I want to build in this game so bad. And it's definitely not like a realistically, like it's not a realistic theme that like real life parks will have, but I want to have fun when building this park, and it would be so much fun to build stuff from that show. Back to this big main entrance building though. I am basically done with it for this episode. I build like an exit and other stuff like under it, but as for the actual main building, this is basically where I leave it at. But so now I start on the actual main, I guess, what would that be called? Like the main street of this park. It's kind of Kings Island inspired. Just a big rectangle with water, and there will be water fountains later on, like in the middle. Simple, but I think it looks cool. Now begins me trying to add a bathroom into I guess under this big hotel building thing, which in doing so makes me realize that the paths in this game, like the little path stamps, how you can just like stamp a square or like a star or anything like that. I learned that they are not aligned with the world axis, which is really stupid. And it's off by like half a degree or something like that. So because of that, I just fiddle around with these stupid paths for for a good for a good like 20 real life minutes. I am not very efficient when doing this stuff, huh? What can I yap about while this time lapse rolls in the background? Uh, I got a vlog coming out pretty soon, and by pretty soon I mean hopefully like within a week and a half of me at Universal, so hopefully that'll be good. I haven't even started editing, so I don't even know if it'll work, but we'll see. Here I am still messing with the dang paths, trying to get it to line up perfectly with the world axis. I really should have just given up instead of just wasting my time on it. So yeah, this like building is going to be essentially the central hub that'll have everything. It'll have like all day lockers, it'll have bathrooms, and this is not even mentioning like the upstairs with the monorail and like the hotel and everything. But yeah, there's a gift shop, this is where you exit from, this is where you enter from. So I think it's a pretty cool idea. I hope it turns out well. I'm pretty happy with how it looks already, even though it's just the little exoskeleton of it essentially. And if I do eventually end up building a water park for this place, like first of all, I do not have any plans to do that yet. But secondly, it would be an indoor water park if anything. And thirdly, I would want the monorail to go through it. Because like currently, that is my only idea I have with a water park is having a really cool monorail go through it, and like having water slides interact with the monorail. I think that that would be awesome. But yeah, like I said, that's currently not in the plans. And also, the water slides are still pretty goofy in this game, so I don't know if that would work out very well. And as you can see in the time lapse, I've spent a million years on the tiniest details that do not matter, as usual. Here I start digging the hole for the water in the Midway, very much King's Island and King's Dominion inspired, like I said. Mine just looks a bit more modern and minimalist. I do want to eventually add the like flowers and like tables that are around the King's Island one, because I think it looks really pretty there. One thing I've been having an issue with, just in general in Planet Coaster games, is figuring out how big stuff actually is, like the scale, which is why I placed down all these guest statues to try and figure out just how big the things are that I'm actually building are. Like, I'm not sure, but I think this, water thing I'm doing, this, like, thing in the middle here, is significantly bigger than King's Island. And that was not really the original intent. And like my hotel, I believe, is nearly 200 feet tall, which once again was not really the original intent. So yeah, I definitely need to pay more attention to how I scale things in this game. I think it's pretty dumb that every like grid piece, the grid is 4 meters, like a normal wall is 4 meters tall. I feel like it should be 3 meters. I think that that just makes a lot more sense. I also think it's kind of stupid that they don't have the concrete walls in this game. They have plaster, which, I mean, it looks close enough to me. But like in Planet Coaster 1, they had the concrete walls and floors and everything. So yeah, I would much prefer if they added that into this game as well. I'm loving these like marble pieces, like marble trim, marble, like smooth marble, uh, columns from marble. You could see a bunch of marble crap in the Horizon project I did not too long ago. And here I begin working on the guest services building that has the kind of curved, I guess, wall that I was talking about a little bit earlier, which is something I haven't really attempted to build before, so this is more of like an experimental building. But other than the wall, it's like the most simple thing you could ever build. But this should be the last of the minimalist kind of blue and white modern buildings in the style of what I have in the entrance plaza. After this building, the other buildings should start to look a bit more themed and a bit less like an Apple store. And like I've mentioned multiple times before in this series,
All these interiors of the buildings, like this one that you're gonna see soon, the gift shop that you'll see soon, the like ticket booths and everything, they're all get like all the interiors are gonna get like overhauled later on in the series. I just kind of want to get the general idea down. And also I think it's a good idea to wait on the minor details for when I have more hours on this game and I've spent more time doing theming and stuff like that. So that way it all just turns out better. The one building I will do the interior on soon is the main big hotel building thing because that's kind of a major detail is just having details in there. I'm just worried about the piece count of this park after building what I'm like estimating to be 300 hotel rooms that should be like decently detailed. So I hope it won't start lagging too bad. My game hasn't lagged at all, uh, really in this game because of piece count. So that's pretty promising. And like other people have said similar things that like the piece count doesn't really lag the game very much. So I have high hopes. I'll just try my best to not make the hotel a million pieces. After all that yapping, here we are with the curved wall. It looks pretty much just how you'd expect. Now I gotta do the glass for it, which was surprisingly difficult. I wish the glass in this game kind of worked like the placeable water does. Where, like, if you place the water, like, if you place some water inside some other water, it won't, like, duplicate the water texture. It'll kind of merge them together and, like, look super seamless, which I wish the glass did. I don't know if what I said just made sense, but yeah. Because like as you can see with the glass that I'm placing here, there's like when it overlaps with itself, it'll either get darker or there'll just be like a little vertical line. It's weird. Well, it's not weird, but like it's not ideal to me. Continuing on with the extremely simple building design here, we got thick walls that you won't be able to tell are thick when it's done. And I also got to adjust the path because turns out that the paths like curve isn't really perfect. Now I got the super minimalist and crappy looking ceiling and roof, I guess. Very corporate and lifeless. Exactly what I wanted. Now, unlike Kings Island's Midway, where it has where like buildings line the sides of the Midway, I think I'm gonna go more Cedar Point style, where it's like there's definitely a lot of buildings, but they're not literally lining the whole thing. And I also want to have a major roller coaster interact with the path, kind of like what Raptor does at Cedar Point. Now I'm building some glass doors, which I don't know if they should realistically be here, but whatever. They're a very simple design. But I do eventually add like a little bit more detail, but they're still pretty simple. Now I gotta copy them over to the other side here, and I gotta move everything to make it exactly like the other side. And there we go. Now I start on the interior kind of. Like I said, this is not going to be a very detailed interior, at least not yet. But it's not like there's going to be nothing here. It's just there's significantly less than there will be when the park is done. Nice marble countertop, I guess. That's what this would be called. I just really like the marble pieces. There will eventually be like desks and chairs and computers and maybe like a little queue line in here, but yeah, not yet. You can probably see the vision though. Now I gotta label the guest services building by going over here, copying this, and then dragging it over here. And then I individually move all of the letters to make it like wrap around the curve. Now I gotta make it not look terrible, which is simple enough. Then after I do this, I just copy it and then put it inside the actual building. Might be a little redundant, so I might remove it. We'll see though. Now we are nearing the end of today's video, and we got one more thing that I am building here, which is the exit for the entire park, and which also goes through a gift shop. So I kind of start on the gift shop. I don't really do very much, like I don't get any details done really, but you can just see the general idea with it. I mess with useless paths way too much. I'm not sure how smart of an idea it is to have the exit of a park through a gift shop. I know that like the Hirsch End parks do it, at least the Silver Dollar City and Dollywood, which are the ones that I've been to. They both exit through a gift shop, I think. So I'm just stealing that idea because I don't really know how else you would exit through a massive building like this, realistically. Another thing I need to figure out is how am I going to set up like I forgot if I already talked about this or not. I might have, so forgive me if I'm yapping about something I already yapped about, but how am I going am I going to add a parking lot specifically for the hotel? Is there going to be a separate entrance for that, a separate exit for that? Are you going to enter through the park or are you not? I got to figure it all out. I got to look at the Epic Universe Hotel and see what that one does cuz that one's like in the park, but maybe it's like maybe you don't enter through the park. I'm not sure. What is it even called? Universal. It's called the Helios Hotel. That's funny. Just like the Mock Striker coaster that opened recently or whatever. But yeah, back to the gift shop that I'm working on, which is basically done for this episode. Of course, like I said a million times, going to add a lot more to it, just not in this video. I think I just add the ceiling, and then that's it for this gift shop for right now. Wait, never mind. I forgot I added these marble wall things to it. Which now that I think about it, I really should just delete the original concrete wall instead of build 2 layers of marble ones on top of it. So yeah, I'll definitely do that next episode. Which, by the way, next episode definitely won't take a full month to come out like this one did. I was just procrastinating so much. I was kind of busy as well, and also I got sick, as you can probably hear in my voice a little bit now. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but I'll definitely be uploading more. Here I am adding a little bit of I guess a roof almost, but it really is just the most simple thing you could ever build. And basically the last thing I do in this video is make a little bit of a path here and then place down a coaster station for the coaster I'm going to work on in the next video, which is a massive mock hyper coaster, kind of like DC Rivals. I forgot if I mentioned that already. I probably did, but whatever. I end up using the Mock Extreme Spinner Station, which is a DLC, because the Mock Extreme Spinner track has the option to use 2 different types of spines. Actually, I think 3 different. And the last detail of this video is door handles. How exciting. But so that's going to do it for the time-lapse portion of the video. Now moving on to the walkthrough showcase portion of the video. So the first thing in this walkthrough that you will notice is the absolutely massive front entrance building. We'll talk about that in a minute, but first we have a new guest services sign and also the bus stop. I increased its size by quite a bit. And this massive building serves as the entrance as well as kind of the central hub for the whole park. Here are the kind of crappy little turnstiles that aren't really turnstiles. These are more temporary. I'll make this all look quite a bit better eventually. But we're finally starting on the actual park. Here we have the very Kings Island and Kings Dominion inspired Midway. Another guest services building, even though there's one on like right before the entrance of the park. This is going to be the exit of the park. This will be a pretty big gift shop. Over here is some bathrooms. And this massive building will be a hotel, as well as a monorail station, which is very much Disney Contemporary Resort inspired. And these monorails will run all the way around the whole park. But yeah, just like the Contemporary at Disney, there will be a bunch of hotel rooms, 1 or 2 restaurants, I might even put a roller coaster either inside the hotel somewhere or that goes on top of it. I'm not too sure about that part though. I plan to put some fountains in here eventually. And over here, we have a little path that wanders off to the first coaster that I'm going to build for this park, which is going to be a mock hyper coaster, which is going to be the biggest coaster in the park probably. It'll be very DC Rivals inspired and run all the way out to the edge of the parking lot and then come all the way back. I'll start building the layout for that next episode. But yeah, that's about it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.